I've been hearing for some of y'all it's a spirit of heaviness and you can't quite put your finger on it. Why am I feeling heavy? Why am I feeling heavy? Why am I feeling weighted? That ain't really going that bad, and that ain't going that bad, and that ain't going that bad yet, and still I feel weighted. And I heard this so clear. You know, God was giving me the analogy of gravity and how people and space beings leave the atmosphere. So imagine we have all this gravity on us, and it reaches a point where it switches over to weightlessness in the atmosphere. And God said to me, maybe the heaviness is a precursor to the weightlessness. I repeat, maybe the heaviness is a precursor to the weightlessness. He also said maybe the heaviness is a depiction or showing the weight of your next assignment. And I'll be honest with you guys. Normally when God give me analogies like that, sometimes I do a little bit of research so I can have some bullets to kind of flesh out as he continues to speak to me. But I didn't do that this time. Because it felt personal. It felt like it was more than one of y'all that felt heavy. And I had to tell you, the toughest part is the start. You want to get on your fitness journey, the toughest part is starting. You want to get on your budgeting journey, the toughest part is starting. You want to get back on the dating market, the toughest part is starting. And God gives the biggest part of the vision at the toughest part. I hope I'm helping somebody when I say that. God gives the biggest part of the vision at the toughest part. Like it's brighter at the beginning. And then as you try to execute that vision light start to get dim when you're trying to really make it work. I don't know who I'm speaking to. But the heaviness is a demarcation. The heaviness is a demarcation of things to come. You're about to leave the atmosphere. And so in order to leave the atmosphere, you have to feel gravity at its highest point. I wonder how it feel to break gravity and go into weightlessness. It would have to be that at one point I felt the most pressure I've ever felt exerted on my body. But it take that to break the sound barrier. It take that to break out the barrier of this level of life that you on. It takes that for the level up. It takes the highest amount of pressure possible to bust through that threshold. And some of y'all are crying at the pain that you should be laughing at. It should be a giggle. I told my wife, see, I've been a spiritual person a long time. So I've had a bunch of different spiritual experiences. But I've been hit with the laughter spirit before, where you can't break your laugh. I've been hit with that. I've been hit with that spirit before. I don't know why I said that. I'm rambling. There's more to do. You're going to break the sound barrier. You're going to bust the sound barrier. You're going to break the sound barrier. You're going to bust the sound barrier. You're going to break the sound barrier. At a certain pitch. There's a certain sound that it's going to make when you bust through. I was with I was with one of my old mentors, just riding along as I was getting in this particular business. And the entire ride, her phone rang. And she just putting people on speakerphone, telling them, you go over here, take care of that, boom. You go over here, take care of that, boom. You go over here, take care of that, boom. And when I got home, my head was swimming because I realized that is the sound of business. That's what it takes to be popping. The pressure of the rings. And gotta be over here by 2, and then be back over there by 3, and then get over there by 3:30, and then get back over there by 5. And some of you gotta be careful what you're wishing for, because you're wishing for something that is gonna take it's gotta be pressurized. It's gotta be pressurized. I got you in the pressure cooker. Because in order for it to go past that stage and go into, it's like atoms moving into different states. It takes a certain amount of pressure for ice to melt. Take a lot of pressure for water to turn to a gas. But what you thinking is your breaking point is really your expansion point. I repeat, what you think is your breaking point is really your expansion point. This is the point where you're going to expand. The balloon only bursts to let the helium out into the atmosphere. And that sound of the pop, God is telling me today, your life is going to make a sound. Pow. Just you changing states, just you going from this version of you to the next version of you, it's going to make a sound like a gunshot. Pow. But that's at the breaking point, and that's at the brink, and that's at the precipice of pressure. That's at the highest apex of pressure. Bow. My life turned around. You need to be laughing at that pain. There should be a giggle in your heart. It's a giggle in my heart. It's a giggle in my heart. Because I already know what's going to happen. The pressure is going to hit. And we're going to switch. Pow. How you think? I was looking at this comedian. He said, yeah, we popped this year. He's like, yeah, he was like, I'm always offended. This is for somebody. He's like, I'm always offended when people come up to me and say, man, you taking off. You popping right now. You an up and coming comedian. He said, I've been in show business for 25 years. But the pop sound didn't come. It took 25 years for his pop sound to come. Some of y'all is waiting for your pop, not knowing it may be a 25, 30-year play. But if you're feeling pressurized, that's an indicator that pop soon come. And it snapped into place. Peace.